So what are we doing today?
We're watching Lord of the Rings, all three of them back to back.
Have you seen these movies yet?
No, I haven't.
You're in for a surprise because all these three movies are an excellent example in storytelling in film, and it's amazing.
All right, the journey begins. We'll be done in about
Into the
15
Shire.
hours. Yo, all right, so we just finished the first movie. What were your thoughts?
It's still great. That was my second time rewatching it, but this was definitely a healthy rewatch because I forgot a lot of things that happened in the film. I think it might be my second favorite after Return of the King, the third, and then Two Towers might come in last, but there's some moments in Two Towers that are fantastic that I can't wait to watch next. But Fellowship of the Ring is awesome. One of the most emotional deaths on screen by Sean Bean, aka Boromir, but it was awesome.
You know, I thought it was terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was really good. There were some slow parts, and then the ending happened, and I was like, because to be honest, I'm nervous because I usually don't watch 12 hours of movie back to back. But you know, maybe it's gonna be all right because the ending was incredible, and now I'm just really excited to start the next movie.
It's the time you do it. I'm not trying to quote Gandalf. I maybe am.
So if I were to rate it, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Which is still, it's really good. It's really
I guess
good.
I can handle that.
The ending was 5 out of 5.
Awesome.
It was a 1 out of 5.
On to the Two Towers. Miranda Otto.
David went.
We got a new member who joined the viewing party just now, Jake Helton.
Halfway through.
Wow,
Two
halfway
Towers.
through Two Towers, this guy shows up.
I only saw one of the towers.
Yeah. All right. So, first person we gotta ask.
Trying to digest.
Yeah, it's very deep.
It's very deep.
Okay, I've digested it. I liked it better than the first one.
Okay, interesting.
I did think that it was very slow in a lot of parts, but the ending fight scene was better than anything in the first one, so I'd have to go with that one. So I guess I would give this one
So you're just going off.
I would give this one I would also give this one a 4 out of 5. But I'm expecting a 5 out of 5 for the next one. I might be wrong, but I'm liking it a lot. It's probably easily made my top 100.
I keep going back and forth between if I like Two Towers more than Fellowship or Fellowship more than Two Towers. I think Fellowship is the more consistent film. Some parts, I'd say the trees, the ends, those
scenes need to be 60% shorter.
Yeah, they need to be very short.
Yeah.
And they don't need to interrupt Helm's Deep.
Well, they do, but they need to be reduced to sound bites that mirror the action of the battle.
Yes, yeah.
It was very slow in a lot of the parts, and I think they could have cut it down more, which they did for the theatrical release, but
then you don't get to see Merry and
weed
Pippin, smoking weed.
Okay, yeah, that scene is a highlight.
yeah, smoke, the best dank weed in the
I
galaxy.
think that would make my top 10 favorite scenes of The Lord of the Rings. Okay, now on to the third and final installment of The Lord of the Rings original series.
Is there an
Lord of the
unoriginal?
Rings, The Return of the King.
Jacob, finish the third one. What do you think?
Alright, I did like it. I would probably have to give it a 4 out of 5, as well as all the rest. My favorite's actually the first one. For me personally, I thought it was the best paced. I thought that there were a lot of slow parts in the second and third. I probably would have liked the theatrical cuts better, but we saw the extended editions. My personal cons is I had a really tough time understanding people, and there were some times when there'd be like an insane action scene, and then it would cut away to something I literally did not care about at all. In the second movie especially, it would just cut away to this tree I couldn't understand, this walking tree. I'm like, okay, I get it. He's a tree that talks poetry. Move on. I'm making James very angry right now. I feel really bad.
Did you just say poetry?
I said poet, he's a poetry.
I'm leaving.
Coming from an artistic perspective, I would have given it a 5 out of 5. I completely understand why it's considered one of the best trilogies of all time. I'm also not a huge fantasy fan, but I think I would have given it a higher score if I saw the TV editions. Literally, my only flaw with it is that I thought it went on really long, and I had problems understanding a lot of the things the characters were saying, and I got a lot of the characters confused. But that's just because I'm an idiot, and I probably shouldn't watch movies for 12 hours.
Well, I have to give it obviously a 5 out of 5. I think it's one of the most well-crafted trilogies of all time. It's one of the most emotionally driven and performance-driven trilogies of all time. The whole cast is great, and just like everything that happens for a reason, and it's just it's a powerhouse of a series, of a franchise. I'm not talking Hobbit movies, but just that, like, the last moments of the third film just like hit me hard. Just like the whole message of the whole trilogy is just really, I find really moving, and it's visually stunning too. So it's a fantasy trilogy like none other.
I don't know, seeing something like this and this is Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars, the original trilogy, it makes me wish that there was some kind of genre-defining epic that could come out at this time of my life that I could be this excited for, that was this innovating and amazing, and it just hasn't happened.
The BFG trilogy. No, I'm just kidding.
It just hasn't happened for me. It's something that's around this age that I can actually remember. You know?
Alright, so here's the thing. Lord of the Rings is like my favorite movie series ever made. So when Jacob told me that he hadn't seen any of them, I was more than happy to sit down and watch 12 hours worth of movies just to show him that this is probably the greatest movie trilogy ever made, at least for me. I think so. I don't think there's a lot of things that can be fixed. I agree with him that in some ways the theatrical versions are a little tighter and move a little quicker for people who can't pay, like who have more trouble paying attention and who can't sit still as much. But with this version, you just get so much more time with each character, so that when it comes time for the third movie, which I think is the best one, then when you start getting all these emotional payoffs, they mean so much more because you've had so much more time with the characters and seen them grow. More so than if you had just seen the theatrical editions. So let's just really quick go around and say which movie was your favorite, and then what you give the whole series on a scale of 1 to 5, I guess.
Alright, so I guess I'll go first. I can't decide between the first and the third. The third had the better scenes, but I think for me personally, the first was awesome because it was an introduction to like a brand new world, and I thought the pacing on the first was the most solid. That being said, the third had the best action, or not just action. The third had the best payoff, and it just the shot of Gollum falling into the lava alone was like.
Spoiler alert. I'm gonna bleep that.
Well, I was really only here for
The second half of Two Towers,
the Siege of Helm's Deep, and then the rest of the third movie. So I'm not going to rate the whole series because I am not going to do it by memory, giving it a numerical value, but I will give it 2 thumbs up and a big smile.
Well, you guys already heard my thoughts. The third one is my favorite because it's the best. And I give the whole series a 5 out of 5 because it's amazing.
Like what James said, I think the third is the best. Return of the King. Each film in the trilogy is like I know before we shot this video, like Jake said, they have the similar pacing wise, or it's I don't know, but it's just like each film is just like paced in this like similar way, but still feels different. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think the third is the best, and then the first and second, Fellowship and Two Towers, both kind of are almost equal for me. But I think all of the whole trilogy is just one long journey. I think you have to watch all of them in a day if you want to get like a really special experience out of it. So yeah.
Cool.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Lord of the Rings is in fact a movie series. All right.
Pack your lamp bread and your crazy friends and put on your rucksack and go climb a volcano.
Throw away your shoes. You don't need them.
You